Hello, guys. Hello, Dr. Amit.
Hello, Dr. Ahmed. How are you? Yeah, hi. Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone.
I welcome all of
I
you
welcome all
to
of
this
you
live
to this
session.
live session.
India is one of the
India is one of the
endurance athletes and one of the most accomplished endurance cyclists in India, Dr. Amit
India,
Sampath.
Dr. Amit Sampath.
So I just give you a brief
So I just give you a brief
introduction
about
Dr. Amit.
Dr. Amit.
That's the Red Bull
The Red Bull
Siberian race
Siberian
in
race
August 2018
2018
and
and
the pace of around
around
100 kilometers
100 kilometers
with the elevation gear
with the elevation gear
77
77
meters. He has completed this
He has
race
completed this race
in 25 days.
25 days.
He is the first
He is the first
and of course an Indian
and of course
to
an
do this
Indian
race.
to do this race.
Along with that,
Along with that,
done
done
RAM
in
in 2000
2000
and RAM consists
and RAM
of
consists
5,000 kilometers
5,000 kilometers
that he has done in
that he
11
has done
days.
in 11 days.
21 hours
21 hours
and again he is the first
again he is
Indian
the
to do the
first Indian to
RAM
do
solo
the RAM
race.
solo race.
Dr. Amit,
Dr. Amit,
I welcome you to the
I welcome you to the Yeah, thank you everyone. I hope you are able to hear me clearly.
Is there an echo?
Is there an echo? Yeah.
Should I?
Now, am I clear now? Very clear?
You are clear. We can
You are
hear you.
clear. We can hear you. Okay. Yeah, we can go ahead with your questions, Ingrid.
Yeah, Dr. First,
Yeah,
I
Dr.
would like you to share your experience about Red Bull
Red Bull
and I think that is one.
and I think that is one
The massive,
the massive
for you are the first Asian
you are the first Asian
done this race.
done this race.
इसके बारे में
आप इसके बारे में
experience कीजिए.
experience share कीजिए.
And after that,
And after that,
share your experience about the RAM.
experience about the RAM.
And then I have the
And
question
then I have
for
the
you.
question
And
for
also
you.
we will take couple of
We will take couple of
from the
from the yeah, actually I did this race Red Bull Trans-Siberian Extreme. Many people must be knowing about this race. This is a race which happens in Russia. It's one of the longest race in anywhere available in the world, 9,100 kilometer, and it starts in Moscow and it ends in Vladivostok. And it's in the entire race is in one country, Russia, and it's a ultra cycling race, and it's a stage race. Means the entire 9,100 kilometer is actually divided into 15 different stages. So every stage is a different distance. Like the first stages are 300, 350 kilometers, and then the third stage is 700 kilometers. So the stages are the distances are different. Every stage there is a distance and there is a cutoff time for every stage. And some stages are like short means 300, 400 kilometers a short distance in the terms of Trans-Siberian Extreme. And then there are some stages which are 700 kilometer long, 750 kilometers, and then there are two stages which are more than 1,000 kilometers. So the 10th stage is actually 1,000 kilometer, and then the 13th stage is 1,364 kilometer at a stretch. So this race is a very crazy race. Only 7 people have done this race so far, anywhere in the world, and I'm the only guy in India and only guy in entire Asia actually to have done this race successfully. So and then so that's what I was talking about. This race is 15 stages, and it goes through Russia, and it goes through 7 different time zones. So and then there are changes in 4 geographically climatic zones. So it's not just the time zone which changes, it actually you change the geographical zone also. So and it, as I told, it goes through 7 different time zones, and and then there is a lot of climbing in the race. Of course, there are not big mountains in the race, but this Siberian, this whole terrain is all rolling hills. So there are very less flat roads in Russia, but it's all rolling. So you are always either you are climbing or you are kind of going down. So the entire terrain is like, this sub-Siberian hilly terrain they call it, and so the climbing is almost around 77,000 meters, which goes up to like some 8-9 Mount Everest worth of climbing, and the weather conditions are very different. So first of all, the day itself is very long, because the morning will be like at 3 a.m. in the morning. You will have like full daylight at 3 a.m. and then the night, there is in the night also, like the night there will be like the night will be like till almost evening will happen like at 11:30 in the night. So the nights are like hardly 2 to 3 hours long, and so that what it means is that, so you are in sunlight for almost 20 hours a day, 21 hours a day of sunlight, and and in the daytime, so this race happens in actually in the summertime. So what happens in Siberia in the summertime is like the day temperature will go up to 32-35 degrees in the daytime, and then in the night it will actually go up to 0 degrees, 2 degrees on the highway. So the temperature variations are huge. So you will be like shivering in the night. From evening onwards, you will be like shivering on the highway till 7, 8 o'clock in the morning, and then suddenly the temperature will go down in the afternoon, and actually you will be sweating a lot in the afternoon. So huge temperature variations, massive time zone changes. Like the race starts in Moscow, like way above Europe, and you cross Europe, then you cross the Kazakhstan, you actually ride above Kazakhstan, then you ride above Mongolia, and then so, and then you actually reach Vladivostok. So it's a very long race, and then apart from that, there are this, and it's a very lonely race also, because the entire race organization is done by the race organizers. So all the support is given by the race organizers, all the vehicles, your drivers, your crew members, the medical team, the physio team, the bike mechanic team, everything is actually the responsibility of the organizers. So you don't have much crew with you. So it's actually a lonely race of 25 days, and and then you can ask more questions actually.
What was the maximum? What was the maximum day?
Huh?
What was the maximum?
Maximum temperature.
Maximum distance. On our duration of 25 days. What was the maximum?
Yeah. So as I was telling you, every stage is different distance, and some stages are 700, some stages are 750. So you will be riding somewhere, some days you will be riding more than 500, 600 kilometers in a day. Some days you will only ride 300, 350 kilometer and the stage is over and you will get some rest time. Like the sixth and seventh stage are both 600 kilometers. Like we finished the 600 kilometers race, the sixth stage, and the same night itself we are starting the next 600 kilometers. So it is a very horrible race. Means the race stages are also so what do you say, so torturously placed that sometimes you are riding very long. I mean, it just doesn't end, and then sometimes it ends in just 300, 350 kilometers, and you will get some rest. So
what with मतलब आप 5 days में 25 days में कितने घंटे सोए थे?
कितने घंटे? So it took me actually 25 days. I was riding some 380 hours. So you can calculate. Yeah, some days I used to get sleep for 4 to 5 hours.
Okay.
Some days I only got some 2 or 3 hours sleep and we were starting again. So it was all depend on the stage, how the stage plan is when we finish the stage. If you finish the stage fast, you will get more sleeping time, because the next start is actually common for everyone again. So if I am finishing late, I will get less sleep and less rest. And the others, if they are finishing fast, they will get more rest and more sleep, so they are more fresh.
So tell me one. I'll ask about this particular race. So what was your strategy? Because riding for such a on a particular day, or maybe for a reason of then taking a 4 hours, and again you have to ride 500 or 600. What was your recovery plan?
Okay, recovery is nothing much actually. We used to get we had a physio team, so they used to give us massage and all. So you can go to the team, you can get a massage, and then and just sleep and eat as much as you can, because your food and your sleep is what gonna help you recover. There is no much physical recovery actually in this race, because what you will recover, your body is actually gone in 4 or 5 days in the race. So what happens is you only can actually sleep and recover your mind. It's only resetting of your mind, making the mind fresh for the next stage or next 24 hours. That's it. The sleep is only to recover the mind. The body will not recover much. It's just you eat and sleep as much as possible, and then you have to again ride the bike.
Okay. So my next question is regarding this race. How did you train with respect to the time zone and temperature? Because you are from Nagpur, which is one of the hottest, and you have done this which has a huge temperature variation. So how did you train for that temperature acclimation in India?
Yeah, what I did is, actually there is no temperature simulation I could do. So only thing, because when I was training for this race, there was a peak summer time in Nagpur. Because this race was in July, and we were training in the months of April, May, and also in so June. So April, May, June are the hottest months in Nagpur. So there is no temperature simulation. Just train, and we got some of the best equipment for weather, like the best jackets and all, to protect in the winter time, the cold, rain and all. So we got the best gear and we just hope for the best. Actually, nothing much you can do sitting in Nagpur. From where you will uh, do simulation? There is no simulation much. So, and only thing what I did is I did a lot of training in the night because it was getting so hot in the daytime. So what I did is I actually I used to ride in the night time. So we used to start in the night at 8 p.m. or 9 p.m. and I used to ride the entire night in and around Nagpur highways. So we used to do 200, 300 kilometer ride throughout the night until morning 7 a.m. And that's it. And so what it helped is it helped me with a lot of sleep deprivation. It helped me with a lot of training, like riding in the night time under the lights of the car. So it helped me in many ways.
No, but coming to
again one specific thing
because you mentioned
because
that
you
in
mentioned
the
that
Russia
in the Russia
the temperature
the
was
temperature
reaching up
was
to 0
reaching up
degree.
to 0 degrees.
Yes.
So how did
So
you
how did
manage
you
that
manage that
temperature change
temperature change
over there? Because you
over
have not
there
trained
because
for
you have
the
not
cold
trained
weather
for
in
the
India.
cold weather in India.
Yes, yes. So that is why I had a lot of problems because this other riders were European,
Hmm.
Russians,
Hmm.
so they were used to this weather conditions and fog and this whole freezing temperature in the night. But I only use very good gear. Like I got some good jackets. I used to wear double jackets. I used to wear hand gloves and and I used to wear very good cycling shorts. I got this thermal cycling shorts and all, and I used one of the best gear whatever is available in the market,
Hmm.
and we got through it. It means of course it's cold, but I think you will get used to it in 4 or 5 days in the race. So what happens is like as the race progresses, you will get used to the Russian weather condition. You will get used to the Russian, their road system, their road conditions. The roads are very good in Russia. Means one of the best roads in Russia and very good traffic discipline in Russia. Uh, uh, so we learned on the way actually.
Okay, so
Okay,
whether
so whether
acclimatization was
acclimatization was
not
not
incorporated in the training,
incorporated in the training,
and
Not
and
possible.
good, good.
good.
One important
One important
question that I
question
received
that I
from
received
a lot
from
of people
a lot of people
about nutrition,
about nutrition
and how
Yes.
did
and
you
how
manage
did
with
you
the
manage
nutrition?
with the nutrition?
Because in
Because
Nagpur,
in Nagpur,
when you are
when
riding
you are
for
riding
200
for
or 300
200 or
kilometers,
300 kilometers,
you might be getting the
you
home
might be
cooked
getting the
food
home cooked food
or the food
or
available
the
on the
food
roadside
available on the
restaurant. It's
roadside
something
restaurant. It's
you are
something
familiar with.
you are familiar with.
But in
But
over
in
there,
over
it's not
there,
an Indian
it's not
palate.
an Indian palate.
And how did
And
you manage?
how
Because
did you
it's
manage? Because
something
it's
which was
something which
planning
was
for
planning
25
for
days.
25 days.
So
Yes.
So
Actually, you are right, and I had a lot of problems with food because they had a common catering team. So this common catering team will actually cook for everyone, and all of these other people are Russians and Europeans. So we didn't had much of choice. Of course, we gave them some choices like rice and all, but they will not make a khichdi and all for you. So we had a lot of problems with the food. and means first 4 5 days you are fine with that food, and then later on what happens is like you will start hating that food. You will start you will not actually start you will dislike that food whatever is being offered, because those people are used to that, and but we are not used to that food. And then but what happened is actually in the race, in the last 7 8 days, we got a separate electric cooker in the race, and we actually started cooking our own Indian food. And because I had a couple of friends with me, so we got a separate electric cooker, and we started cooking our own khichdi and our own rice and our own dal, because in the end it became extremely difficult to eat all that food whatever was being offered. Sometimes we got very good food, sometimes we used to get fried rice and chicken fried rice and those kind of things, and but sometimes not the best what we wanted. So it was so we started cooking our own food in last 7 8 days, and we actually got we got some Indian food also coming in. One person came all the way from Nagpur and got us a lot of Indian food actually. So in the last 7 8 days of the race, so yeah, but we managed through. But yeah, it was a very difficult time, and I had a lot of problems, and then because of calorie deficiency and vitamin deficiency, I got a lot of ulcers in my mouth in the last I think 10 days, and so many ulcers in the mouth, and I was not able to eat anything properly, and I had to depend on I was just eating ice cream, because that's the only way I could actually put in a lot of calories inside my body. So yeah, but
Difficult.
we got through that time.
Really difficult.
Really difficult.
Did you
Did
rely
you
on the supplements
rely on the supplements
during the entire
during the entire
25 days?
25 days?
Supplements, yeah, of course, for hydration and all, like you replenish your salt, supplements and all. I relied on those kind of things, but nothing for protein and all. I didn't took any supplements or anything. I was only eating eggs, egg sandwiches. Then I was eating a lot of chicken, which whatever is available. So in that way, a lot of protein was going into my body. But and then a lot of chocolates for massive calories, because every day you need some 10,000 calories in this race. So every day 10,000 calories, from where you will bring this 10,000 calories? So you will have to eat a lot of chocolate,
Ice cream.
eat a lot of ice cream. You will, you will eat a lot of because 10,000 calories. Otherwise, your body will start losing weight dramatically.
Yes.
So which is not good.
So, since you mentioned about the
calorie intake,
what was your weight before the race, and what was your race after you completed the race?
Yeah, actually, yeah, I was. So before the race, what I did means I had put on a lot of weight also. I did a lot of strength training. I did a lot of weight training. So I had put on a lot of weight. I think I was somewhere around 76, 77 kgs.
Okay.
And then when actually the race ended, I must be some 68, 69. That's it. So I lost some 7-8 kgs during the race.
8 kg.
8 kg.
That's almost 12% of your weight.
12% of your weight.
Or maybe 15%.
Yeah.
Maybe 15%.
Yeah.
So according to you, can I issue a statement to the public that if you want to train for such races, you need to get a lot of training in eating ice cream and chocolates?
No, you training is different. See, training has a limitations in ultra cycling. You cannot train for 5,000, 9,000 kilometers. It is not possible. So you have to train only to a limit, and then you have to depend on your mind. You have to depend on your mind that you will get through this kind of a race, and you will have to build up your mind also that I'm gonna suffer there, I'm gonna have a lot of hard time, and I'm gonna, almost gonna get killed over there. So if you are, so if you there is no enjoyment in these kind of races. The enjoyment is now, when I'm able to talk about it, and I'm able to share my experience.
Great.
So enjoyment, there is no enjoyment in these races. And because I've done all kinds of races, marathons, Ironmans, so many, now ultra cycling also. So ultra cycling, you don't enjoy much because it's so long, and days after days and after days. But you need a mind actually. You have to train the mind as well as the body.
So, two questions I want to ask particularly for Red Bull Trans-Siberian. Number one, this race was around 9,100 kilometers. That you did in 25 days. So, what was the maximum duration and distance you did in a one go in a training? And checking question. As you said, you need to prepare mentally. You need to have lot of mental preparation. So, did you do something like meditation or some other tool to condition your mind for such kind of races?
I don't do any meditation and all actually. Lot of people tell meditation karo, ye karo, but I think I'm a character only, that kind of, that I actually look forward for this kind of races, and I like to suffer and get through these races. And as you asked, what is the maximum distance of training? So in RAM actually, I would talk about RAM. In RAM, before RAM, I did a 2,500 kilometer ride in India.
In one go.
In one go, that was like 7-8 months before RAM.
Okay.
And then I did RAM 5,000 kilometer in 11 days, 21 hours. And then 1 year after that, I did Trans-Siberian Extreme, which is like 9,100, which is almost double the distance of RAM and double the elevation. And so, but when I trained again for Trans-Siberian Extreme, I didn't do any very long rides. My longest rides were like 250 kilometers, 300 kilometers on Saturdays and Sundays. And I only focused on quality training. So my only objective, my calculation was very simple. Like, I know how to ride 5,000 kilometers. I've done that. And so I need to train little bit more, and I will be able to do 9,100. So I don't need to do again 5,000 kilometer or something again in the training and all, because if you do that, then you are almost killed. Then your recovery will be so long.
Absolutely.
That you can never get ready for another race, because mentally and physically it is very draining. So when I trained for Trans-Siberian Extreme, I actually trained very less. Means not as like RAM and all. I only used to do 200, 250, 300. I used to do interval trainings. I did a lot of strength training. I did a lot of weights and all. So and then I just thought a lot about the race. That is how I build up for the race mentally. I think about the suffering, I think about all the problems, and then I think about that I'm gonna get through them. So that's the only way I think I train my mind, because nobody will be able to help you to do that. it's only the athlete who has to actually figure out.
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
Actually,
So tell me one thing.
Tell me one thing.
When did you decide
When did you
to
decide
attempt
to
Red Bull
attempt Red
Trans-Siberian
Bull
Extreme?
Trans-Siberian Extreme?
yeah, after Ram, actually, after
You were not
coming back
satisfied.
from
You were not
Ram,
satisfied.
actually, Ram was my friend's dream. My friend said, one of my very dear friend, Mr. Bhanu Rajgopalan, he said, Amit, you can do Ram. You should do Ram for Nagpur. You should do Ram for India.
Great.
You are the guy
Great.
who can actually do that. So I did for him. And then when I did Ram, then I thought Trans-Siberian Extreme also. And after coming back from Ram, there was I was doing again Ironman, half Ironmans and
Yes.
all. But I
Yes.
always used to kept thinking about this race, and then I committed to this race, and then I said I'm gonna do Trans-Siberian Extreme, and I actually took that decision, because it is so important to take decisions in life.
Yes.
Yes.
So very important. I took that decision. I went ahead, and I actually didn't knew, because it's means I said okay, I will get through it, and but it's a very very hard race. I didn't thought it will be so hard, because it is so hard with Russian terrain. Siberian terrain is actually so hard, and weather, and the race itself is so long, 25 days. You won't imagine, it took me 1 month to actually get my sleep cycle back, because my sleep cycle was totally destroyed, because I was sleeping anytime, I was getting up anytime, and after coming back also, I used to only think about this race only, as if I am again doing the race. So it took me more than 1 month to actually get out of this whole Trans-Siberian thing and get my sleep properly, and so means
So
I would anybody who would like to have a very big challenge in their lives, they should go for Trans-Siberian Extreme. It can be done. It's not, I know it's very very long, a very long distance, but it's possible.
is there anything
Is
about
there
this?
anything about this?
I don't know. There is nothing, but yeah, this is a very nice race, and very nicely organized race, and amazing team. And Russia is very beautiful, beautiful country, extremely beautiful. Means, of course, race across America is very beautiful, but Russia is a very, very beautiful country. Great people. Means you will feel like as if you are in India only. Means very, very, very supportive people. They will really.
That's incredible.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
That's incredible.
Great. So
Great. So out of I have one
question.
specific question.
So after
So
somebody
after
completes the
somebody
SR,
completes the
SR series,
SR series,
how much
how much
training duration in
training
terms of
duration in
months
terms
or
of
years
months or
that
years
person should
that
give
person
for
should
RAM
give for RAM
and for
and for
Red Bull
Red Bull
Trans-Siberian Extreme?
Trans-Siberian Extreme?
Yeah, I think SR is very different thing, because SR, the time limits are very very very, you get a lot of time in doing breves and all. Actually, I have never done SR, honestly.
Oh,
I have never done any SR at all. So
So that's very
actually-
small.
that's very small.
so actually, you know what? First, you should actually train for as a cyclist. Work on riding 100 and 200 kilometers fast, and develop your speed for 100, 200 kilometers, or 250, 300 kilometers at the most. You don't need to do SR to do RAM, honestly speaking. And then you should directly attempt RAM qualifiers, which are 600, 800 kilometer races or 1000 kilometer races. And then you will learn a lot about ultra cycling and the sport of ultra cycling. And then you should then, after qualifying for something like RAM or then you should actually go and crew in RAM,
Okay.
go and see the race, crew for. I did that, I got qualified for RAM in 2015, and then after that I went and I crewed for another rider in 2016, and then I learned a lot about the race, what is this race, how to do this, and then I came back and then I started training myself. So it is not it's a very big investment. It is not like training for a marathon or an Ironman. It is ultra, or doing something like RAM or Trans-Siberian is a massive investment of time, energy, and a lot of investment of your emotional energy also. So a lot of people don't understand what they are getting into. For me, RAM and Trans-Siberian, I invested months and years into this. To actually, means when I did RAM, it was actually a 1.5 year of project. We were just thinking about RAM, and same with Trans-Siberian for 6 months, only that. So
and I think family support is very, very important.
Very, very important.
Yeah, family, friend, community support. Without that, I don't think so. It is possible to do something like RAM and Trans-Siberian Extreme. It is just not possible.
So, coming to the investment part. So we have one question. How can we plan for the financial or the sponsorship?
Yeah, for sponsorship, and as I said, RAM is not one person's project. It's a community project. RAM, Trans-Siberian, they were all projects which were actually the projects of the community in Nagpur, because Nagpur has this community of cyclists and runners. So they actually all came together and they actually did fundraising for RAM. So I am not from some very rich family and all, where I have a lot of, when I started training for RAM, I didn't even had a full-time job. What happened is I was actually developing my own Pro Health Foundation. We were organizing marathons, we were organizing different sports events and all. So I was actually I was focusing on promoting sports for everyone. And we were training people for marathon. Everybody knows I run miles and milers, and we train people for Ironman, marathon, cycling. So I was doing that, and then so the community in Nagpur actually identified that we should support this guy. We should actually create this success story out of Nagpur. So the entire community from Nagpur actually, helped me in fundraising and all. I'm telling you honestly, when I started training for RAM, I didn't even had some 2 lakh rupees in my account. And everybody knows RAM. So what happened is, all my friends, as I said, my friend Mr. Bhanu sir, he promoted me into this. He said, you can do this, we will fundraise for you, you don't worry, this is a Nagpur's project and we will all support you. And so this is how actually the project was developed. So it was not my some personal ambition. So it actually became Nagpur's community project. And a lot of people, said, okay, इसमें कितना fund लगता है? Okay, हम इतना इतना पैसा देंगे. A lot of businessmen, they came forward. They wrote checks for this project. For Race Across America, because they said, okay, Amit, but it didn't happen so easily. I had to show my commitment. So what happened is, as I told, I did a 2,500 kilometer ride before RAM in India. So that was actually to demonstrate that I can do something like this.
Yes.
So it was actually proposed by one person, Mr. Jitendra Nayak. He said, we can support you, but you have done 600, you have done 1,000, but that doesn't mean you will go and do 5,000. So he said that you should at least do half of the distance in India.
To prove your
credibility.
Yeah, so that also in good time. So then what I did 2,500 kilometer in India, from Nagpur to Hyderabad, Hyderabad to Bangalore, Bangalore to Belgaum, Hubli, Belgaum, then Pune, and Pune to Nagpur. It was 2,500 kilometer. We did it in 5 days, some 6 hours.
Great.
Great.
And then what happened because of that then people understood, now Amit means he's one of the probable who can do this. We should support him. He is putting a lot of efforts, and he is the guy who can actually ride so long for so many kilometers without sleeping. So and that
builds the confidence.
That builds the confidence.
Yeah. So I had to do all these things, and that is how and then that is how other people then actually believed in it. They fundraised for it. A lot of people did fundraising. Some people did website. Some people, all kinds of things. So logistics planning, all kinds of support was actually came from all different quarters.
So, Amit, we have a question from the bike packer. How do you train the mind to suffer more?
Yeah, actually, you can train the mind. As I said, you have to think about these sufferings in the race, before the race, in the training. Of course, you have to train hard. That itself will give you a strong mind. So if you train hard, you train well, that will give you a confident mind. Then apart from that, you have to think all the sufferings which are going to happen, sleep deprivation, problems with food, problems with weather, then and then you will have apart from that, you will also when you are doing something like a race like RAM and all, you will have a lot of pressure from the community also, people who have supported you, people who have done all kinds of things for you. So those people will actually means that is a big motivation, because there is always a pressure, when you are to that, I have to do this successfully, I have to go back home with a success story, not just for me, but also a success story for everyone who contributed towards this project, who contributed their time, who contributed their money. So it's a success story. You give it to all these people.
So it's a success story for the community, for the Nagpur, and in part for the India as well.
Yeah, for everyone, because when I did RAM, I got support from everywhere, from Hyderabad, from Bangalore, from all the Pune, Mumbai, Delhi, all cities, wherever there are big marathon and cycling communities.
No, that's really something. It takes a community to get this kind of achievement. And you got the support because you proved your credibility.
Yeah. I had to, and everybody knew that Amit is into this, and means he is very serious about this. So it's a and then and there is no everybody knows there is no financial benefit in doing RAM or Trans-Siberian Extreme. There is nothing. So there is no financial benefit. Actually, it doesn't fit into any financial model. Why would you do RAM or Trans? Because you will risk your life. You will risk your life during training. You will risk your life in the race, and then there is nothing. There is no financial benefit out of it. And only thing is, you have this inspiring story for everyone to talk about and inspire others and inspire everyone to do something, do sports, whatever.
But do you think in coming years this perspective regarding the sponsorship will change? The companies or the corporates will think about investing in the people who are serious about this kind of sport.
I think, yeah, it will happen, but it will happen very slowly. But I think the companies, the sports companies are the one who actually should come forward and support us, because they can get direct branding from us. There are so many bike companies, there are so many sports shoe companies and nutrition companies. So they should actually come forward and get branding out of this. Of course, there are corporates in India, but they don't see any direct benefit out of us.
Yes.
That is the biggest problem. You know? They don't see any benefit, direct benefit, but a sports company which is producing products and all should actually support us in a big way, because they get direct benefit from us.
Amit, we have another question. What is the time frame one cyclist should consider to making RAM a goal for his life?
I think, as I said, first, do a RAM qualifier in India, and maybe do couple of RAM qualifiers, and then go and crew in RAM.
The crewing is very important.
Crewing is very important. I think crewing is a stepping stone towards success, because if you are not crewing, there are so many examples in past. People who have not crewed, they have just gone, and then their success rate is very poor. So very important to go and crew in RAM, because then you will understand what is this RAM is all about, and what is this ultra cycling is all about. So and you will also see the race, and you will understand whether you want to do something like this, because it is a very cruel race. So whether you want to suffer, go sleep deprived for 12 days doing RAM, you will hardly get sleep for 1 or 2 hours every day, and then so you have to understand all these things, and then you should commit. So it's almost 2 years of 1.5 to 2 years of hard work and investment, training, fundraising, and then you should do something like RAM.
Okay. So what is your advice to the people who are seeking the goal of RAM or maybe Red Bull Trans-Siberian? What is your advice from the learning? If you say this is what I learned, and you should do that.
Advice is same as I said. First, do few RAM qualifying ultra cycling races. Get your confidence. Then you will understand the sport. Then after that, do smart training. You don't have to do very hard training and get drained in the training itself. So you should be very smart about your training. Don't overtrain. A lot of people do overtraining in ultra cycling. I totally I've seen so many people overtraining in ultra cycling. Even I used to do overtraining in ultra cycling. Then I understood अरे इतना ट्रेनिंग करने की जरूरत नहीं है ना. ट्रेनिंग करो पर उसको एक लिमिट है. And train smart, and then if you want to do RAM or Trans-Siberian, you have to develop, it should be the community's project, you know,
Okay.
the community around you and all. They should actually support you. Otherwise, you should be some super rich person to actually do these kind of races and all. Otherwise, it's just not possible. Means this is my personal experience. You have to have the community support, and community should see you as a, you know, as a leader, not just for ultra cycling, you know. The community should also see you as a person who will actually give back to the sport, you know. कि भाई आप ये करने के बाद में क्या करोगे. आप स्पोर्ट्स के लिए कुछ करोगे, आप सोसाइटी के लिए कुछ करोगे. तो ये भी क्वेश्चन आपने अपने आप को पूछना चाहिए कि भाई ये करने के बाद मैं क्या करूंगा. कि बस ये मेरा पर्सनल अचीवमेंट के लिए मैं कर रहा हूँ, कि मैं कुछ सोसाइटी के लिए कर रहा हूँ, मैं स्पोर्ट्स के लिए कुछ आगे करूंगा. तो ये
True.
सब भी आपने अपने आप को पूछना चाहिए. तो इस तरीके से, जैसे मीन्स मैं तो पूरा स्पोर्ट्स फाउंडेशन ही चलाता हूँ यहाँ नागपुर में, और हम बहुत सारे एक्टिविटीज करते हैं. हम अभी वी आर स्टार्टिंग दिस इंडिया पेडल्स आल्सो, यू नो. इंडिया पेडल्स फॉर एवरीवन, यू नो, पीपल टू जस्ट सी साइकिलिंग इवन एज अ कम्यूटिंग. जस्ट आप साइकिल यूज करो, एक बस ऑफिस या मार्केट जाने के लिए साइकिल यूज करो. तो ये भी बहुत इम्पोर्टेंट है सोसाइटी के लिए.
So,
what about the support
from the
Nagpur municipality in terms of promoting cycling?
Yeah, means actually Nagpur is a upcoming smart city. So we already have some planning of some 600-700 kilometers of cycling tracks in Nagpur, and coming up. But it is not just about creating cycling tracks. It is also about creating, you know, awareness in the people, making people, you know, making cycling attractive to people. कि भाई this is nice. आप 2 किलोमीटर अगर आपका ऑफिस है, या 3 किलोमीटर पे ऑफिस है, या मार्केट है, तो आप साइकिल से जाओ. और आप अगर साइकिल से जा रहे हो तो आप बहुत अच्छा काम कर रहे हो सोसाइटी के लिए, अपने आप के लिए.
बिल्कुल सही.
ये भी बताना बहुत जरूरी है.
Good. So, according to you, the change is coming in the country in terms of cycling becoming a respected sport. And there is a change in the infrastructure that is built toward taking care of the cycling needs.
Yes, there is a definite change, and I think government also understands. But yeah, cycling is not the top like 20 priorities for the government, you know. But we as a cyclists, as sports persons, we have to bring cycling as one of the top priorities for the country. You know, that cycling should be promoted for everyone. All the cities should be cycling friendly. Cycling, you know. So we have to do that, and it's actually it will take another 10 years to actually make another like a big significant a change in the society. But it's happening, and we should all recognize everyone somebody who is just commuting to office on daily basis on cycle is a hero for us, isn't it?
Great.
So, not just some person who has done 5,000, 9,000 kilometer cycling, isn't it? So
that person has become the benchmark for the country. Because that's really the biggest achievement. To be very honest.
Thank you.
So I think you are right. People should take cycling as a commuting. They should start commuting on the cycle for the short distance.
उतना ही करो, फिर जो ज्यादा और साइकिलिस्ट बढ़ेंगे तो ऑटोमेटिकली साइकिलिंग एज अ स्पोर्ट में भी ज्यादा लोग आ जाएंगे.
Great. Great. People will get addicted to more distance.
The more, then young people will also start thinking, oh, I should do a race. I should do a 40-kilometer race. I should do a 100-kilometer race. More people will come into the sport of cycling also.
Yes. Great. Amit, we have a question. I know it's a very broad question. But what is the total expenditure? A ballpark figure that a person should keep in mind for the RAM and Red Bull Trans race.
Yeah. So for RAM, anybody doing RAM from India it will cost, just to do the race itself will cost some around 35 to 40 lakh rupees, and then apart from that you will have to spend on equipment, your training, your nutrition during training, because training is also expensive for RAM, because you will be training on highways, you will need support car, and you cannot go on highways for 200-300 kilometers alone. You will need a support car, you will need a driver, you will need some friend who will crew you. So it is also very expensive to do training itself for RAM. So the race is one expense which will cost you some 35-40 lakh rupees, and then the training for RAM, equipment for RAM, that's another big expense which you will incur every month, before the race. Yeah. And somebody doing RAM from India is even more expensive, because you have to go fly to US, then you will have to go there maybe a couple of months in advance, then you will have to stay somewhere, train. So it's a expensive affair. And Trans-Siberian Extreme, it is not very expensive, because not as expensive as RAM, but it is actually the best part is because you don't need a very big crew in Trans-Siberian Extreme. The entire support is given by the race organizers. So that is the best thing about Trans-Siberian Extreme. The race is extremely beautifully organized. The race director is amazing, and they have a very amazing team. They have a catering team, physio team, medical team, bike mechanic team, and they put you into the best hotels. So but yeah, it costs you something. Means Trans-Siberian Extreme will cost you around, just to do the race, it will cost you around 27-28 lakh rupees. Trans-Siberian Extreme, but that is just the race. Of course, then again the training and all is another different expense, and also equipment. Then you will have to buy some very good gear, clothing gear and all. So clothing gear itself will cost you some couple of lakh rupees.
Absolutely.
So that is the big expense of
both the races.
And it is all community fundraising. Of course, for Trans-Siberian Extreme, I got some corporate support.
Great.
During Trans-Siberian Extreme, I got almost 50% of the race expenses were actually we got corporate sponsorship from Nagpur, from companies like Plasto and all. But
Amit, we are just left with 20 seconds. But I think we have covered a lot of things. We have covered about races and expenditure, training, mind. And it has been a great interaction, Amit.
Yes.